Okay, so we are continuing with our football club history series. We're looking at Valencia, as promised, the third of the Spanish clubs we're looking at over this weekend. Now, they were founded in the 18th of March 1919. They've been playing at the Mestalla Stadium since 1923. Currently has a capacity of 49,430. Now, they are in the process of still building the new Mestalla Stadium to replace their current stadium. That has led to some financial issues, and a lot of clubs in Spain have had money problems in the last 10 to 15 years. Valencia is a high-profile case of the money issues in La Liga. Now, Valencia gets overlooked because of the success of Atletico Madrid in recent times, Real Madrid and Barcelona. But Valencia, especially in the late 90s and the early 2000s, had a very, very good side. But historically, they've been very successful as well. So let's have a look at their trophy cabinet. There's quite a few trophies here, and then we'll have a look at some of their fun facts. So, they've won La Liga 6 times, and they've won the Copa del Rey 8 times. That's a very, very successful trophy haul by any standard. Obviously not on the same standard as Athletic Bilbao, Real Madrid or Barcelona, but still one of the most successful clubs in Spanish domestic history. They've also got a very, very successful European haul as well. They've been to 7 European finals. They've won 4 of them. So, La Liga runners, they first won it in the 1941-42 season. They won it again in the 43-44 season. And again in the 46-47 season. So the 40s was their most successful La Liga period. It took a while until they won it in the 70-71 season. And then, obviously, in the early 2000s, they won it in 2 seasons, in the 2001-2002 season and in the 2003-2004 season. This is when they had a very, very stacked side in the early 2000s. The Copa del Rey, they've had more success in the Copa del Rey than in La Liga. They've won the Copa del Rey 8 times, 1941, 1948-49 season, 1954, 1966-67 season, 1978-79 season, the 98-99 season, that start of that late 90s to mid-2000s solid side that they had. They won it in the 2007-2008 season, and most recently in the 2018-2019 season. Actually, that is their most recent trophy, because in the last decade or so, as I say, they've had a lot of money problems. They've also won the Supercopa Espana in the 1999 edition. The old Copa Duarte, which is now the Supercopa Espana, they won in 1949. They won the Cup Winners' Cup in the 1979-1980 season. They won the old UEFA Cup, which is now the Europa League, in the 2003-2004 season. They won the UEFA Super Cup in 1980 and 2004. The old Intercities Fairs Cup, that became the UEFA Cup, they won that twice in the 61-62 and the 62-63 season, so back-to-back champions there. And they also won the old UEFA Intertoto Cup in 1998 to qualify for the UEFA Cup. They have been twice runners-up in the Champions League in back-to-back seasons, again during that early 2000s, late 90s period where they were at the top of Spanish football. 1999-2000 and in the 2000-2001 editions of the Champions League, they were runners-up in back-to-back seasons. Here's some fun facts about Valencia. They've spent 86 of their seasons in La Liga and only 4 seasons in the Segunda division, which is the second tier. They were a former member of the G14 group of clubs, which were the top wealthiest 14 clubs in Europe. When that was made defunct, they were a founder member of the European Club Association. Now, that European Club Association, of which Valencia are still members of, were very, very crucial in shutting down the European Super League debacle a couple of years ago. Now, when you look at Valencia's history, in more recent times the silverware has dried up, and that is due in part to their financial issues. They've had to sell some of their better players to other clubs in Spain and across Europe to raise funds. But you look at it, they are underrated as a Spanish club. They have had a lot of success in Europe and a lot of success domestically. But as I say, the big 3, big 4, so Bilbao, Real Madrid, Barcelona and Atletico Madrid have won more silverware, but Valencia aren't that far behind, and it's only a few years ago that they won the Copa del Rey for the 8th time. So they're starting to win again. They had about a decade of nothingness, basically. They haven't won the league for 19 years. Which is a bit of a dry spell for them, but their most successful league period, and to be fair, Copa del Rey period, was in the 40s. They won a lot of silverware in the 1940s. They are a very successful club. Just people forget how good this club once were, and this is what I mean. When financial issues hit, some clubs do struggle to recover, and Spanish football has a lot of money problems, and Valencia is the prime example of a club that has struggled financially for the best part of 15 years. Barcelona and Real Madrid could be entering that financial phase with the debts they have, which dwarf the debts of Valencia. Valencia are slowly rebuilding their financial standing and rebuilding themselves. Could Barcelona and Real Madrid, for example, two of their major rivals, with their debts, be forced into a decade or 15-year period of slumber? Because that's what's happened to Valencia. But Valencia, underrated club. Some really interesting facts. At peak, they had 50,000 season ticket holders, which was basically the Mestalla Stadium. Was basically their season ticket holders at peak. 50,000 members basically had partial or full season tickets. That was at peak. That was before their money issues. Since their money issues, that has obviously dropped. But there we go. There's a brief history of Valencia. Thank you very much for watching. Please place your thoughts in the comments section below. I want to hear from Valencia fans and those fans who remember those 2 Champions League runs and their success in the late 90s and early 2000s, which a lot of people of my age remember very, very well. They were a very, very good side. Rafa Benitez, of course, was their manager in that period. But there we go. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll have some more content for you very, very soon.